Evan Vale would die later that night, in a wet alley, for reasons that arrived in pieces. The first piece was Mara. She broke up with him in the parking lot because she was kind enough not to do it in the lobby and too tired to drive somewhere pretty. The rain had been falling since lunch. It turned the asphalt outside Bright Harbor account recovery into a black mirror full of bad light. The call center's sign buzzed above them, blue letters blinking in and out as if even the building wanted to clock out early. Evan stood beside Mara's car with his work badge already clipped to his belt. The badge showed a photo from 2 years ago when his face had been thinner and his hair had still obeyed him. Under the photo, in white block letters, it said, Evan Vale, Client Care Specialist 2. He'd never cared for a client. He'd kept them on the phone until they agreed to a payment plan. Mara sat behind the wheel, with both hands folded over the top of it. She hadn't turned the engine off. That was how he knew the conversation had been decided before he arrived. I can't keep doing this, she said. Evan looked at the rain on the windshield instead of her face. Doing what? She gave him a look then. Not angry. Worse. Finished. Evan. He should have nodded. He should have said he understood, even if he didn't. Some men could take that calmly. Evan wasn't one of them. It's 11 minutes before my shift, he said. Mara closed her eyes. He heard himself keep going and disliked himself for it, which didn't stop him. I'm not saying there's a good time. I'm saying there are objectively worse times. That's exactly it, she said. Objectively worse times? No, the way you do that. The rain worked between the collar of his shirt and his neck. He'd forgotten his umbrella because Mara had texted, "Can we talk before work?" And he'd come anyway. Use words, he said, softer than he felt. Mara laughed once. It had no humor in it. I've used words for 3 years. He wanted to say 2 years and 8 months. He wanted to say they'd only been officially together for 2 years and 6, depending on how she counted the first month. Numbers were easier than what was happening. He said none of it. That was growth, probably. Or fear. Mara leaned back in the driver's seat. She wore the green coat he'd bought her last winter, the one he'd found on clearance after 3 stores, and a humiliating argument over an online price. He had felt noble about it then. He'd brought it up twice since. I'm smaller with you, she said. That landed strangely. Not like an insult, like a bill he did not remember signing. I never asked you to be smaller. You don't ask. You keep score until I offer. His mouth tightened. That isn't fair. No, Mara said. It's accurate. The lobby doors opened behind him. Warm fluorescent lights spilled across the wet sidewalk. 2 smokers from collections came out under the awning and immediately pretended not to see them. Evan hated them for seeing it. Mara's voice dropped. You keep receipts for kindness. He flinched. She saw it. She had always seen too much. That was one of the reasons he loved her. It was also one of the reasons being loved by her had become exhausting. I'm not saying you're cruel, she said. Great. Don't. He looked away. You can be kind, she said. You can be funny. You remember the food people like. You notice when someone is cold. You sent my mother flowers after the surgery and did not put your name on the card. He had put his name on the order form, not the card. It was pathetic that part of him wanted credit for the difference. But every good thing becomes part of the case later, Mara said. I can't owe you for being loved. The smokers went quiet under the awning. Evan put his hands in his pockets because they'd started to shake. So that's it? Yes. You rehearsed this? Yes. With who? Her face changed. Just a little. It was enough. Ah, Evan said. Don't make him the reason. I didn't say him. You were about to. He'd been. That annoyed him most of all, that she could still intercept him before he got there. The first shift bell chimed through the lobby speakers. It wasn't a real bell. It was a soft, digital tone meant to make wage labor feel like a wellness app. Mara reached across the passenger seat and picked up a paper grocery bag. She handed it to him through the open window. Your books, she said, and the blue mug. He took the bag. The bottom had gone damp. You brought props. I brought your things. Same category. For a second, she looked like she might cry. He hated that too. If she cried, he'd have to comfort her or become the kind of man who didn't. Both felt expensive. Goodbye, Evan, Mara said. Then she rolled up the window and drove away. He stood in the rain with his badge on his belt and a bag of books going soft in his hands. The smokers looked everywhere except at him. Rough night? One of them asked. Evan turned his head slowly. The man lifted both palms. Forget, I breathed. Evan went inside. Bright Harbor smelled like burnt coffee, plastic carpet, and the lemon cleaner they used after someone vomited in a trash can during tax season. The front wall carried the company values in silver vinyl. Listen first, restore trust, create pathways. Underneath, someone had scratched a small dollar sign into the paint. Evan had reported it twice. Nobody had fixed it. He respected that in a way. It was the only honest thing in the lobby. His supervisor, Darlene, intercepted him near the time clock. You're wet, she said. Rain. Clock and grace period ends in 4 minutes. Then I'm early. Darlene looked at the grocery bag. Personal items on the floor are a safety issue. My relationship ended in the parking lot. She blinked once. For a beautiful second, Evan thought he'd found the human being inside her. Break room lockers are for personal items, Darlene said. There she was. He put the bag in a locker that didn't close all the way and clocked in with 59 seconds to spare. The call floor was a low maze of gray cubicles lit bright enough to punish the skin. 46 agents sat in rows, each with a headset, 2 monitors, and a laminated empathy card taped near the keyboard. The empathy card had approved phrases, I hear how stressful this is. Let's look at options together. I want to help you protect your account. Evan had once suggested adding, I'm not legally allowed to tell you my real opinion. Darlene had written attitude in his coaching file. He logged in. His queue opened immediately. 32 overdue accounts. Average handle time target, 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Promise to pay conversion target, 28%. Empathy compliance target, 94%. His life, summarized by numbers that disliked him. The first caller was Mrs. Alvarez, 73, $419 behind on a medical payment plan. Her husband had died in March. She had already told the story to 3 agents because the system notes were bad, and Bright Harbor charged grief by the minute. Evan listened. He did it properly, too. Not the fake listening where he waited for a keyword and clicked the right hardship box. He let the silence sit. He asked the name of the hospital. He found the duplicate late fee and removed it, though he was supposed to transfer anything above supervisor review threshold. That should bring the account current if you can make the original payment by Friday, he said. Mrs. Alvarez started crying. Evan stared at his monitor. The removed fee glowed yellow, a tiny, unauthorized mercy. Thank you, she said. You're very kind. He almost said, remember that on the survey. He bit the words down. Take care of yourself, Mrs. Alvarez. He ended the call at 9 minutes and 12 seconds. There went his handle time for the hour. At the next cubicle, Nisha leaned around the divider. Her headset was muted, one hand over the microphone. Can you cover my call back at 9? My kid's fever is up again, and I need to talk to the nurse. Evan looked at his cue, looked at the blinking callback reminder on her screen, looked at her face. Forward it, he said. Relief loosened her shoulders. I owe you. You do, he said. She smiled because she thought he was joking. Maybe he was. By 10:30, the rain had become a hard silver hiss against the windows. The call floor settled into its night rhythm. Keyboards, low voices, occasional coughing. Darlene's shoes making managerial laps. Evan had taken 21 calls, saved 1 account, lost 3, and been called a parasite twice. Then Trenton Bell entered his queue. The account flashed red. 97 days overdue. Prior contacts, 12. Broken arrangements, 4. Agent caution note, abusive language, escalation risk. Evan inhaled through his nose and clicked accept. Thank you for calling Bright Harbor Account Recovery. This is Evan. Am I speaking with Trenton Bell? You people called me. Male voice. Older, ragged, already angry enough to be efficient. I can help with that. For security, can you confirm the last 4 digits of your phone number? For security, you can go to hell. Evan clicked the compliance marker for hostile opener. I hear that you're frustrated. No, you don't. I hear that this account has been difficult to resolve. You hear what they pay you to hear. Evan straightened in his chair. Mr. Bell, I'd like to look at options with you tonight. Options? The man laughed. Something clinked near the receiver. A glass, maybe. You mean ways to make me say I owe money I don't have? The balance is already acknowledged on the account. By my wife. Evan paused. There were safer scripts for divorce accounts. He knew them. He should have opened the hardship screen, offered documentation review, moved the call toward a neutral landing. Instead, because Mara's car was still leaving in his head, he said, the account does not separate responsibility based on who had the harder week. Silence. Nisha looked over the divider. Evan's own body knew before his pride did. Too sharp. Too personal. Not illegal, probably. Not good. Mr. Bell breathed into the phone. What did you say your name was? Evan. Evan. The man made it sound like a stain. You married? I'm here to discuss the account. Girlfriend, then. Evan looked at the rain-black window. His reflection looked like someone waiting to be blamed. Mr. Bell. Listen to me, Evan. One day, someone is going to look at you and understand that every decent thing you ever did was just another hook. Evan's hand went still on the mouse. The call floor dimmed around the edges. There was only the headset, the wet window, the little red account box pulsing on the screen. Mr. Bell kept talking. People like you keep receipts for kindness. Evan didn't answer. For the first time all night, the script had nothing useful to say.